Let me just start recording, sorry. He'll have 40,000 people on his session. So sometimes it's better to have more than one broker account if you can put another 250 in another account, because the percentage payouts vary and you can find a better percentage, because we're not looking for a great number of trades. As Les says, we're only looking for 2 to 4 trades. Build your confidence, build your consistency, and by the time you get up to much bigger sizes, and remember, I'm just showing you what I do. If you are new, please do this on demo. Don't just blindly take trades because I'm taking them. It's got to be your judgment, it's your money, and you make your own decisions. So always make sure, even if you miss the trade, there's always another signal coming along. Always make sure you've got it exactly set up. We've all made this mistake before where I did one once where I thought I was trading Euro USD and actually it was USD SEC. Fortunately, it did win, but you need to make sure you've got your system set up properly, and you want fixed time off. Okay, fixed time always off. Right. So once we've done that, I'm going to look at USD CAD. So I'm just going to go over to that, see what it looks like on the screen, because sometimes, as you know, we can get those little spikes out. So that's moved quite nicely down. Nice drop there. And then we come over to our hourglass. Okay. So once you've got everything all set up, I'll have to come in and again. So you want to come over to your im.center, log in here. I'm in France and I'm number 1, both for Forex and for HFX and the Academy. So that Academy is well worth going through. Most of them are only 5 to 10 minute videos, and it gives you the principles of trading. So whether you're learning horse riding or trading, everything has a principle, and there are hundreds of methods for anything that you're learning. But unless you understand the principles and context, no method will work for you, and that applies to anything that you're learning. So the academies give you the principles and the context of the market. Please put things in the chat if you want to ask any questions, and I'll check it, and we can spend some time answering any questions that you have about currency pairs and the market, sessions, speed of currencies, because I've been doing this with IM Academy since May 2018. So we go to strategies and come down to our HFX, and we want hourglass. These other strategies are good as well. There's plenty for us to go through. Now we're on hourglass. Why am I on hourglass? Wait a minute. There we are, that's it, Euro CAD. So I want to look at USD CAD, and you saw it, that drop that we've just seen. And this looks big, doesn't it? But actually, this is a very small tick chart. It's the 1 second chart. So whilst these look like mountain ranges, they're actually tiny. And what I was going to show you today was, if I come over to my trading view and just show you, you don't have to do this. You don't have to have this at all. It's just because I trade Forex as well sometimes. Hang on. I'll have to call you back. I'm doing a session with the team. Okay. Okay, bye. Sorry about that. Just show you USD CAD, because I want to show you the context of the market. Now, we're only doing very small trades, not huge, great big pips like this. But if you come, and this is just to show you the general directional trend. This is actually an old scan, goes back to November, but that's currently where price is at the moment. This is using something, these are trend lines called pitchforks. So you can see that price, you don't have to do this, but some of us will have quarter theory on, which is a psychological line of support and resistance used by all the big boys that move the market makers. And price will always respect quarter theory. It will move between major levels. So you can see here across that quarter theory there, it was held by, this is a moving average, which is a rolling line of support and resistance. And we're using those in our Bollinger Bands. This is a slightly different setting. It's 62, so it's measuring 62 candles. But you can see how price, look there, all the way along there, it couldn't break through quarter theory. So I wanted to show you the power of quarter theory. And here you can see price is held on USD CAD by quarter theory, by this pitchfork trend line, which has Fibonacci built into it, which is everything that the universe is based on. And the market moves very much to a pattern, and you can see price is also held. It's being pushed down by this orange line, this rolling line of support and resistance. So I'm just showing you this. You don't have to bother about any of this apart from quarter theory, which I find very useful. I'm just showing you the power of why you can let your ego sit away from you and trust the indicators. There's a reason why Matty Pips has over 8 million in his account, and it's because they understand the way markets move. See how price rested all the way along this moving average. Price will always want to, like a magnet, come back and rest against the moving averages. And then you can see it's been held here by quarter theory and that aggressive trend line called a pitchfork. And here you can see it has tried to break through that quarter theory and come back up, but it's just coming under that 1 point. These are always zeros and fives, 1.26500, that quarter theory there. So it's just to show you the context of the pairs. So I'm now going to just come over to Cashtrap here. Come over to our Cashtrap. And the one I want to use is this one, which, no, it's not, sorry, my mistake. I want to use it, they're the same, it's just different colors. I thought this one looks better. 321 Cashtrap. And this is Les's settings taken off Matty Pips. And you can see down here, we've got our stochastic, got our DMI stochastic. I've changed it to call and put. Call for a buy, put for a sell. If you want to change it to C and P, then just come over to your settings here. Style, and I literally just changed it in there. Excuse me. And then there's our stochastic. So if you've got any queries on the settings, please ask in the chat and I will go over them with you. So we've got our settings correctly set up on a template. I'll turn that off. Let me just check I've got auto support on. And yes, I have. Depending on what paid version of TradingView you've got, then you'll be limited on your number of indicators. I've got the top version because of training and doing replays and stuff like that, testing things. So I've got my Bollinger Bands separate, but there is one called BBMA where you've got the 3-in-1. I did make a note of some of it, but you need to go through Les's recording of the other night and double check the settings on that. So you can have 3-in-1 on the indicators with BBMA, but I just happen to have mine separately. So here's and here I'm on the 3-minute chart. And let's see how our USD CAD lines up. So I've got my watch list here. I've got some other pairs on here, but that's because of being on some of the other trader sessions. I normally stick just to the 5 that Matty Pips does. There's no need to trade all 24 pairs or 32 or however many there are. So we're looking at USD CAD. There's that quarter theory, which I showed you on my scanner chart. And you can see that price tested it, can't break through on the moving averages, and has now come down to that lower line of support there. And you can see it's now in the oversold area. Now, whatever happens in the market, whatever strategy you're using, the market moves like this in waves, and we're looking for oversold and overbought areas. And you can see that here where it's peaked outside. There's a reason for these settings, 80-20 and 70-30. That is overbought, and here is oversold. So that's why we give to the point system a tick for each of these. But on the RSI down here, you can see it didn't quite come outside, although it did on the stochastic. Let me just get rid of that. So now we're going to come to back to our hourglass. We've got a payout of 82%, and we'll see if we've got a trade here. Sorry, let's get rid of that. But the other thing we need to do before we do that is mark up our own charts. So there's no need to rush any of this. You've got plenty of time, and you only want to be taking trades. You need to do 100 trades on demo. It sounds like a lot, but you have to do that to get the repetition in your head, and then go on to just $1 trades for another 100, so that you get the confidence on pressing the button on real money, because this isn't a race. This is about consistency and doing an hour session on your trading. And I've seen Jonathan's just come on, and he's just reminded me, him coming on just reminded me that we were talking yesterday about what times of day to trade. And as we know, Les does 1 p.m. till 6 or 7 p.m. So you don't want volatility. That's why we choose these pairs. A pair like GBP NZD is the wildest pair in the market. None of the HFX traders, as far as I know, trade a pair like GN, because we're not looking for huge numbers of pips. So we want the mid-range or the slower pairs. And it's best to use either out of session pairs or mid-range pairs, which you will find in the New York session. I mean, for example, you don't want to be trading HFX on GCAD, Great British Pound Canadian Dollar, which is a very fast pair in the London session, because it'll just, swing wildly compared to this. So that's why we follow the pairs that the HFX top educators follow. So what we like to do is to start by looking at what pairs are doing. I'll start with the monthly just to show you. And I'll just take off, and then we'll look for a trade when I've done this marking up. Just take off take that off. And just take off or hide that. So I've got a clean chart. So I'm doing this sort of slowly, but it honestly doesn't take that long to do. So we're looking at this. This is August, October, September. Here we are in January. So these are one candle equals 1 month. So we would mark it. You can mark it either to the body or the wick. I know in the HFX Academy, I think it's Evan Cabral's training, he marks to the body because he says he's capturing more of price. But you can do either. So I probably just mark it to the end of the wicks. So take a horizontal line, change them to, you can clone it. I'll first of all change it to the the color that you want. I mean, you can do this in any order, obviously. So I'm going to have blue for support. Then I'm going to clone it here. I'm right clicking on the mouse. I'm going to pull it up to there, although that's a long wick. So you can see why Evans says he does it to there, because you're capturing more of price. Because what do we mean by that? This is called a probe. And what it means is that price has tried to push up, but there's no volume in the market. This is where the open of a buy candle is. Mine are blue for buy and green for sell. And then it's closed at that point, and that's where the real volume is. There's no volume, there's no actual trading here. But I'll put it at the end of the wicks, and then I'm going to have that in red. Just make that slightly thicker. Just right click on your mouse, there's your line thickness. So that's the monthly. Come down to the daily. So one candle is a day. And let's just see if I can magnify this a bit. There we are. So daily, that goes back to last June. I'll just bring it out a bit. And take one of our lines again. And I think you're looking for lines of support and resistance. So I'm going to go probably put this on, see how that works out. That's 3 pips away. So I'm going to put that, see what it looks like on quarter theory, which would be the zeros. And that's my line of support. So I'm going to have that in blue. Like that. And then I'm going to take that line, right click over it, clone it, and then move it up to there. That looks good to me, somewhere around there. And why am I choosing that area? Because you can see along here quite a lot of resistance. It's acting like a ceiling. So I'm going to put that in red or deep cerise. I don't really like reds. So that's our daily, then down to the 4 hourly. And you can see that's picked it up quite nicely. And from everything we discussed on USD CAD, that quarter theory and the rolling 62 EMA, the moving averages are acting, if price is below a moving average, whether it's a simple moving average or an exponential moving average, then that's acting, it's pushing price down, and usually it means price is selling if it's under your EMA and buying if it's above. And the difference is a simple moving average is just measuring a certain number of candles across any time frame, whereas an exponential one is weighting it more towards recent price. And that's what we mean by exponential compared to simple, which is giving every candle across the whole time frame you're measuring the same importance. So again, I'll take a clone of that and put that where we see that's a bit let's see what that looks like if we just, yeah, I think I like it more up there. So you just have to use your judgment. And I might move that one down to there, although I like that area, because what we're going to do, I like that area there, but what we're going to do is then click on our auto support and see how it lines up with the areas that we've chosen. So it hasn't been at that area. for a long time, but you saw on the scanner how it's been in a downward trend for a long while. So we could actually put it back here. I think I'm going to leave it. I'm going to pick up that area there. It's slightly below that there. So you could put it up there or down there, but I'm going to leave it down there. So now come down. Sorry, I need to change that one to red. And then down to the 1 hour. I mean, when I did this yesterday, it literally only took me 5 minutes or so. It wouldn't take very long. So on the hourly, we're going to, I know it looks like a lot of lines, clone that again. And I'm going to pick up that area there because there is a lot there. There is a lot there. 6611. So that might actually be, yeah, I think I'll leave it there. And then clone that and put that probably there. Settings, change that to red, whatever color you're using for your resistance, and then down to the 15 minutes. I'm not going to do the half hour, I'll just go straight to the 15 minutes. I usually just use auto support, but I know to be disciplined I should really always add on these lines. I'm going to start doing that. You can see prices carrying on down from everything we looked at on the scanner. And then for the 5 minutes, I just use the auto support. So this is the last set that we'll do. So clone that. Wait a minute, just clone that. That's it. And I'm going to put that there, along those lines there. And I'm going to clone it again and put that there. Now that's a very nice, I like the look of that. And mark that as red. And let's put our auto support on now and see how it matches up. We'll come down to a 5 minute because we're looking at the 5 minute candle for a 3 minute entry. So here we are on our 5 minute, and very nice moves. We could have had trades, nice trades on that USD CAD at 82%, I think. And the other thing is market timing. We're now just past the hour. If you are looking at a trade at 28, 29 minutes past, Evan Cabral teaches this in the HFX Academy. Wait, and I saw it on the Alwood session when I was on last week. He said the 30-minute candle saved us because we were looking at a trade and he waited till the 31 minutes passed. So keep an eye on your time because price moves 15 minutes, 30 minutes, and the hourly in particular. So that half-hour candle is very important. It's called market timing, and the hourly candle is very important as well. So I don't take trades sort of 10 minutes up until the hour, and we're now 3 minutes past. So I would wait until that hourly candle has closed, and that's this candle here. That's the hourly candle there, and that showed you it was another engulfing candle on the hour. That price has been consistently dropping down. These are strong candles down, and they're called engulfing candles because they're bigger than the previous candle going the opposite direction. If there's a lot of wicks on it, then that means, or a doji, these ones where they're like spinning tops, that means price is about to reverse in direction. It's a 50-50, it can go either way. So the hourly candles, there's one here. You can see them here. They're very, very important to take note of, the hourly and the half hourly. And again, the half hourly showed that actually it's failing a little bit. You can see that it tried to push up. It's still going down, but they're getting smaller and the wicks are getting longer. So that says to me it might be turning and we might have a buy that we could look at. So what I'm going to do now, we're on the 5 minute, is switch on our auto support and see what that looks like in line with how we've drawn our lines. And let me just put that like that so you can see more clearly. And you can see that they pretty well, that red line up there matches up with these bigger, the bigger bolder ones are stronger lines of support or resistance. So there's a strong one up there near to our red line, and here they that one pretty well matches up. So as I say, I tend to use the auto support, and I find that okay, but you know, do try and follow this actual system as closely as possible, because remember, sometimes I am going back to look at my overall scanner, which is the system I first learnt, and I get a pretty good feel for where these lines are from here. And I do sometimes put the auto support on here as well. So sometimes I'll be flicking back through my scanner chart and I'll put my auto support on here. So I know now price is going to turn up, because it will always want to come back. You can see that 62 is coming down to meet the quarter theory. It's on a line of resistance. I've got a pitchfork there, and it probably wants to start to come up now to meet up with that quarter theory as the orange line comes down, and then it will want to carry on down to this next major level at 1.26138 and possibly down to 1.2600. But we are coming up to that USD news. So sometimes I'm looking at the scanner, so from trading Forex. So I don't always put all these lines on like this. But Matty Pips does, and talking to Jonathan about it yesterday, we did decide that it is good discipline to exactly follow the system, and it is. So now we're going to see if we can take a trade. So from here, I sometimes set up another chart so that I've got is it that one, so that I've got just have a look here. Let me switch these back on. Switch our Bollinger Bands on. And I've got this 3-in-1, so you can see an extra orange and a blue, but it's because on that indicator it incorporates my quarter theory. But that's a 62 moving average, which you don't have to bother with on this system. It's just that I've got a 3-in-1 indicator. It's the quarter theory I'm interested in on the hourglass. So now we've switched that on. I'll keep that on my 3 minutes because this is the chart I'm using to actually take the trades. And there we are, and we can see now it's come out of the oversold and it's saying call. I don't know why that's gone so small. I'll look at that later. It's rejected 4 times. It's pinging off the Bollinger Bands, which act like elastic bands. They should ping price back in. You can see that it's stalled out there along that line of resistance. So this is looking very good for a call. Now, sometimes we can actually miss a trade on the entry and price runs away from us. And that's just the way it is. It happens with the big traders, the professional traders that we're following as well. We've got a sell there, not a buy. We've got that coming up and that coming up on the stochastic and the RSI. It's hit that channel there, the support, and it's coming back up. So I'm going to come over now to our hourglass and see it says call. And now I write this down, a call at 1.2633. You don't always get time to do that. We've got this against us, that the US dollar is weaker than the Canadian dollar on the currencies. But here we've got a call 1 off the Bollinger Bands 2. We've got the up arrow and the blue for the buy, that's 3, 4, 5, 6. So we've got a 6-point entry here. So we come over to our trading view, 1.2633. 1.2633. We're slightly late in. It comes back 3.3. Is it going to come back anymore? I'll just take an entry there. See how we get on with this. So we got 1.263362. So a little bit, might be a little bit late in. I might want to roll over. Let's just see how we're getting on with that. You have to make a decision about 45 seconds before that purchase, and rollover will add on. About, it's dropping, but I'm gonna see. Come on, baby. We'll add on 30% onto your risk. So I've got to make a decision. I think I'll roll over just to give it some time. And what I forgot to do is look at the number of minutes. So we're okay, less than a minute ago. That was lucky because actually I forgot to check it. Oh, and it's just changed to put now. Well, that'll teach me. Oh, that's the problem because it just switched over. Okay, that was my mistake. First time I've been doing this live, which is why I say make your own decisions, because that was obviously at the end of the 5 minutes. It's just changed to 1.26352 as a put. So now I need to look at this, look at hourglass. We've still got it saying buy. We've still got that going up. It's changed to a put. It's still off the Bollinger Bands though. Sometimes what you can do is offset your position 6326352. So I might just do a $1 trade because I'm just showing you what happens, and I don't want to start doing this live trading on $10 trades till I get more confident with doing them with you. So if I'd done $10 on that, that would be offsetting that position I've taken up there, and that's what these big traders do, and it's just dropped right down now. So I should have kept it at the 10 and courage of my own convictions there. And there you can see it coming down. Hang on, wrong one. And just hitting through that line of resistance. And we have got that news coming up as well, remember. So we've got a sell there. We've got it off the Bollinger Band, just hitting that line of resistance. Let's come back to our trading view. Yeah, that's dropped very nicely. So deep in profit on that one. But that one obviously has not turned out too good because I didn't check the timing. So we get wins and we get lessons. And that was entirely my fault because I forgot to look at the clock on here, trying to talk and teach it at the same time. So there it goes, 1.26. And look at the difference as well between the broker price and your trading view price. That's very important as well. Here's the 3-minute one, 1.26. Sorry about that. Let me just turn that off. Decline that. That doesn't help either. Can't switch off. So we've lost that one, but we've won that one. So it's a little bit more advanced, but that was my fault for not checking the timing. And that one did win nicely on the put that we took at 1.26355. So we'll see if we can do one more, and then I'll look to see if there are any questions. So that was that trade. Let's come over to hourglass again. So now once I've set everything up and I know what pairs I want to trade, As I say, we've got that news coming up in 15 minutes. We might have one more trade before we stop, but it's very nice at 82%. The higher the percentage payout, that's why we don't take trades down at 50%, because if you lose one at 50%, you've then got to do 3 trades to get back in profit, because you've got to do 2 to get back to where you were, and then 1 more at 50%. It's much more hard work. So if you've got low returns, percentage returns, then come back at a later time and have a look and do a session a bit later on. But we'll stick with USD CAD at the moment. We'll look. So once I've kind of got into it, got set up, now I'm purely waiting for the, if you're too deep into the candle, for example, if it's past the 4 minutes and it's going down, then Matty Pip says, wait for the next candle. So that's what I do. Once it's gone past, if it says less than a minute ago, that's fine. If it starts to count down at 4 and less, then I just wait for the next, unless I can see it running quite hard, then I will wait for the next candle, because I'm only looking for fewer trades. I know it's nice to post pictures of, 24 trades and 15, 16 wins and, whatever. But actually you don't need that many. You're just looking for 2 to 4 quality trades a day. Compound your account. And if you want to compound quicker, then add on the profit. So if you've been in a 70% trade with a $10 order size and you've made 17, then you could put the 17 on your next trade. Remember to use Les's compound to withdraw spreadsheet, and also Peter's got a very good chart system where you can copy and paste your trades into his spreadsheet. It's very simple to use, and I say that as someone that never uses spreadsheets. And it just automatically updates the graphs. It's really, really good at keeping you disciplined, looking at your percentage win rate and making sure that you close down. And if you've had a not very good day and you've lost 5%, that you, whatever you're working towards, that you shut the computer down and come back the next day. So USD CAD, we're going to wait. We have got that news coming up, that's all. I wonder if we ought to change. I think I'll change, and let's have a look. We'll have a look at Euro CAD at 72%. So I'll come over here and just see that it's still, that's dropped to 68, but that's still okay. Or the other one would be Euro JPY. Euro JPY, sorry, and Euro CAD is 72, sorry, 72. We'll have a look at Euro CAD. So switch over to Euro CAD, make sure you're on the 3 minutes. I'm going to keep it at $1 at the moment. I won't go back up. And that looks like we might have something happening here. Then back to Hourglass. So make sure your broker's still got you logged in, make sure you're set up, check you're on the correct currency, et cetera, otherwise it will default back out. And Euro CAD, we've got 2 minutes to go. So we'll have a look at, we'll change our chart over. Euro CAD. Euro CAD, here we are. So that looks like we might have a call coming up. So it's still saying sell. It's been in the oversold area, just crept back up. We might be a bit late. This is, sorry, I need to put it on the 3 minute. Beg your pardon, that was not on the correct time. Now this is with the 321 overlaid, and I quite like that because I quite like seeing it flash up with the arrows. I find that helpful, but you can see it's not trading between the Bollinger Bands. It's just stuck in the middle along the moving averages at the moment. So there's no trade at the moment. Let's look at the 1 minute. And so I can show you, there it is on the 1 minute, just coming down. So it's got a bit of a way to go. So we'd want to wait till it comes down to about 1.53500. So that's what we're waiting for it to come down into the Bollinger Band out here in the oversold area and turn for a call. So we're looking for a buy. I personally don't take trades when they're running along the moving averages. So you can see it did do off the moving average. It did a break and a retest and it's coming down. But for the best chance of success, I prefer to wait until it hits these lines of resistance and channels. And price will always want to move between Bollinger Bands. They act the same way as the outer edges of the scans that I've shown you. So let's come back and look at Hourglass. Check you're on EuroCAD. Always check you're on the right currency. And that is giving us a put there at 1.53524. But as I say, can you see how it's running along the middle lines, the moving averages? There's the line of resistance, just wicking off there. So it could just be playing in this area now. I'll show you on, let me show you on the scanner, just to give you the context. So this is an hourly scan. And you can see that the euro's been dropping against the Canadian dollar, and that's why it's stuck on Hourglass in the middle, because this is a quarter theory psychological line of support and resistance, and this is what we call a trend line known as a pitchfork. So price is trapped at the moment in this little area, and that's showing you. I'll just come back to the hourly. And you can see that showing you it's downward. These are sessions, that's Tokyo, London and New York, and it's dropped all day, the euro against the Canadian dollar. So let's come back to see what it looks like on here. It's at 1.53520. Then at this point I speed up, I'm not doing it this slowly when I'm trading on my own. So I'd probably now 1.53524, 2 minutes left to go. Because it's just doing that, it's trapped, as I showed you on the scanner, but you can see it's trapped. You don't need the scanner. You don't need to be looking at the stuff I showed you. I'm just showing you the context to give you a different visual. I'd probably say to myself, I'm going to look at these other pairs because I don't want to do US CAD because there's news coming up. EuroCAD doesn't look like it's setting up for something. So what I'll do is come back to my list and flick through the other pairs. Euro USD stuck at quarter theory, got the news coming up. It's on the middle, it's on the EMAs, no trade. Euro Japan, interesting because it's saying it's actually overbought and it's come up above, that's on the 3-minute chart. It's come up above the quarter theory, that's supporting it now. So in a minute, I might like the look of that because there's the outer edges of the Bollinger Band, and that happens to be the 62 EMA, but you can use the Bollinger Bands because that shows me that it's probably going to come up to that line of, I'll just write this down because Euro JPY is paying out 68%. We've got it as probably just taking puts on it. So I quite like the idea of this as a put. 126.027 would be that line there. So if it comes up there and it's overbought, it's coming up to overbought there, but it's looking better on the stochastic. It doesn't say put at the moment. So I have a look on our Hourglass, Euro JPY. And let's see what happens, what it changes to in a minute. I'm going to come over to my trading view. I'm going to change to Euro JPY. We're at 126016, 126016. I'd like it to be up a little bit more, but it might not get back up. If it got back up again, then you can see it's a little bit spiky though. We may have missed it. A put at 126001. So we've got the put, the arrow. It's still a little bit of inertia there, still going up. We've got a buy, not a sell. We have got our stochastic and RSI pointing down, and we've got the euro weaker than the JPY. So we've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think we've got a 6-pointer there. It just turned to red. Let's see what's happening here. 006. I'm only taking a put now to show you. I've only got $1 on it. 126008. Come back to hourglass. You see, it's just leveling off there. That's what I mean. That's it. That's good. That's just pointing down. It's now at 126001, and on our trading view, 126011. So we might want to roll over on that because you can see it's still pushing up. It just pushed right up. So I'm going to roll over on. In fact, what I'll do is double up, because that puts me in a position up here. Let's see. So you can take positions. I think Peter was doing this on his results. He had some very good results today that I saw on in our groups. You can take positions on the way down to offset this lower one. Still pushing up. So you have to make a decision at this point and flick back. And you see it's still pushing up. It might want to go up actually to 1.126044, 126020, because it's still got the blue price on it. So that's not working. That might give us a break even actually. So I think we're just in a little bit early. That gave us a break even there and a loss down there. So in a little bit early. Let me just go back to hourglass and I'll look at the chat. 126001, and it carried on up, but it's still saying put. So this is the whole thing, isn't it? The timing of the entry. So if I'd been here trading on my own, our maximum rule for rollover is 3. That's what Matty Pips does. I probably would have carried on rolling that over. In fact, I know I probably would. So the only other thing to bear in mind is you can see the wicks, you can see the small volume on the candles. So might not have been the best trade to take. You're better off waiting until you get to the outer edges of the Bollinger Bands. It hasn't turned to sell, and you can see it just still creeping up there. And let me just come back to here. Let's see what the hourglass says again. 1 minute left. Let's just wait for it, and then I'm going to look at the chat and we'll finish for today. Let's just see what the new setup is on it. Now we're 28 minutes past, so we are coming up to that half-hour candle. So at this point, I wouldn't get into the very next trade. I'd probably say, okay, I'll just wait till just after the half hour. But let's just count down 50 seconds and see what it looks like. And what I'm going to do as well is just come over to show you the scanner. Euro JPY. And actually what you can see is price is just resting all the way along. Very small movement. In fact, the 62, I haven't seen that for a long time. It's just running straight along the quarter theory. So price completely stuck, and now decided it's probably now actually going to come up. What's that on the 1 minute? And it'll probably want to test the 15-minute line before dropping. So it might actually come up as far as 126.222 before carrying on. You can see this also has been in a downward trend. There, off that D point. And here it is at the moment. So it is still carrying on down, but it's just testing an area before probably carrying on dropping. So that you can see how vitally important that quarter theory line is, either as support or resistance, which is why I do like putting it on the HFX. So actually on the 1 minute, and it's just crossed above, I can see an old trend line, or pitchfork as we call them in this system, pushing back up towards there at the moment. So let's have a look at our hourglass, and that is saying put at 126051, but we're now on the half-hour candle. So let's have a look and see what our half-hour candle looks like. Just show you on a cleaner screen. Bit wicky on the buy candle, wicked off, couldn't break through the quarter theory, but it's just being held there. 126054. That gave us another, oh, that was that break even. Let me just 126056, and on hourglass a put 126044. Trading view 051. So let's put a put on that. And as I say, please do this on demo. I'm just showing you what I do and how I think. You do speed up, obviously, when you're on. I'm trying to talk and flick through and explain. And this one looks like it's getting deep into profit. You've got your rollover will flash up down here. Your double up is for when you are not in profit, but you want to take a position at the same expiry, but at the current price, as you saw on one of our trades earlier. Let's see what this looks like on here. You can see that wick off that major line of resistance, where I said it might want to come. You're in the outer Bollinger Bands now, and that's the bit we want to capture. That's in the HFX Academy training by Evan Cabral. We're looking for that, or Ness, I think Ness Velasquez goes through that as well. We're looking to catch that bit here where it's peaked and it's coming down into from the overbought area. So this hasn't dropped a huge amount. It's not what I call deep in profit, but we should be fine on this one. It should be fine. And on hourglass, there it is moving down. 1 minute 53 left to go. That shows you what it's just peaking up there, but we should be okay. Just coming back up. Come on, stay down there, stay down, stay down. Let's see, watch this one count down. And now when we've done this, I'll just come over to the chat and have a look, and I'll start to do some more now of these sessions, and hopefully you'll find them useful. And that one won quite comfortably. So I'm just going to stop the share and look at the chat. And we haven't got anything in the chat, so I'll just say thanks very much for joining. If you've got any questions, please ask. And I'll post in the chat tomorrow about when I'm going to do our next session. So I hope you found that helpful, and let me know how you get on. So I'll say goodbye.
Thanks, Sarah.
You're very
Thanks, Sarah. That was great.
okay. I hope that was helpful. I'll do some more regularly if you find them helpful. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate you all taking the time to join me.
Thank you, Sarah.
And I'll just stop recording.